We got 5 matches on this week's episode, including an 8-man tag team match, the debut of Vinci, and they set up a bunch of things for next week's season premiere episode. Welcome everybody to my review of this week's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome to the Wrestling with Eddie YouTube channel where we talk pro wrestling. I do Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, PLE reviews, and of course a bunch of wrestling content on the channel. So make sure to subscribe, comment what you thought of this week's episode of Smackdown, and give the video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm for whatever reason. And now, let's talk about this week's episode segment by segment. So this week's episode started off really strong in my opinion, with Cody Rhodes coming out and cutting his usual shtick promo, what do you want to talk about and all that, but he called out the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa, who came out. As we know, Sola has said he was going to get next and he wanted a championship match, and Cody started talking about how he deserved the championship match and he's been doing a great job lately and improving. But he wasn't talking to Solo, he was talking to Jacob Fatu, which I thought was an excellent way to start building up Jacob Fatu as being the next guy to step up outside of the Bloodline. Jacob got up on the ring apron, and then Solo forced him to get back down. And then Solo talked about how, good try, Cody. Like, of course, he's not going to turn on me. He's my enforcer. And I love Cody saying, like, well, at least I tried. And then they did accept that their match is going to happen next week at the season premiere, which is the first major setup for next week's episode. Then Bloodline came out and came into the ring, and they were all about to attack Cody Rhodes when DIY and Street Profits came out of nowhere, and then they had a good face-off between Bloodline and the whole babyface crew. Nick Aldis came out and basically announced that next week it is official, Cody and Solo in a steel cage match, which a little weird considering we're about to have a steel cage match in AEW right now. It kind of feels like it's their way of just trying to answer to that. Didn't feel like it was super necessary here, but whatever, maybe I'm wrong. It definitely felt like AEW is doing it, let's also do a steel cage match. But hey, it's going to be a great way to do the match. It just feels a little weird how they set it up. Then we had a super quick backstage segment with Tiffany Stratton, Pretty Deadly, and Nia Jax. Nia asking Tiffany about last week with the briefcase, if she was planning on cashing in and all that, and Tiffany said of course not. This set up our first match of the night, not the next one, the first match of the night, which was Bayley versus Tiffy. And this match was pretty good. I really like the small little tension that they continue to build every single week. This is something WWE do excellent with the long-term booking, where this time around, Nia Jax came out to help Tiffany Stratton, but actually ended up distracting the ref, and they gave Bayley the win. Bayley did a dive to the outside, which hit Nia, got Nia upset, so she got on the ring apron as Tiffany was trying to pin Bayley, so the ref was distracted by Nia Jax, and that let Bayley kick out and then hit her finish and get the win. So again, slow build here about the Tiffy and Nia Jax rivalry in the future, which I really like. Then we had a really fun backstage segment with Kevin Owens and A-Town Down Under. Kevin's just always the best. I feel like I gush over him every single week, but he's just excellent. A-Town Down Under came over and made fun of him for losing at Bash in Berlin this weekend. Kevin Owens basically forced him into a triple threat match because he wanted to see how good these two are as friends if they were in the same match together, which set up a match I will talk about later down the road. Then we had a really fun Legado del Fantasma promo backstage. I like this little restaurant style promo they're doing, basically being proud that they won last week and that they're setting up that they are going for something, I guess a championship match in the future. Look, I feel like I'm hot and cold with the Legado team, but these promos are really working for me, so hopefully they can actually build off of that in the future. Then we finally got Giovanni Vinci's debut, and I've talked about the last couple weeks that I was excited for this, and man, what a disappointment. What the heck was that? He lost in 3 seconds. He was basically unzipping his jacket, and Apollo Crews rolled him up and got the pin out of nowhere. Of course, I'm really hoping that this is not them trying to punish him for something. If that's the case, that's not cool. But if they're actually trying to build Vinci into something, all right, not a great start here. So we'll kind of wait and see. I also mentioned, this is super weird, I'm pretty sure that was a new ref too. So I'm going to say there was 2 debuts here. We had Vinci's debut and that referee. I don't remember seeing that referee for this match specifically ever before. I am 90% sure that's his first time on SmackDown or on Raw. Then we had the triple threat match between Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller, and this was a great match. I really liked it. I think this was my match of the night. The more I think about it, the more I look at my schedule here, I'm pretty sure this is the one. I thought it was a fun match. Small tension between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller at one point where one of the two, I think it was Waller, went for a pin, and Theory pulled him off, being like, what are you doing? I'm the one who's doing all the damage. why are you trying to take the pin? But outside of that, everything else went really well. Lots of really cool spots in here. Grayson Waller did a front roll jump into a cutter, but got over him, which was really cool. Kevin Owens hit a stunner at the end. I thought Austin Theory did a great job selling it. Kevin got the win, but after the match, A-Town Down Under beat him up and stood on top. And then after that, we had a backstage segment where A-Town Down Under talked with the general manager, Nick Aldis, and said that they want a tag team match next week against Kevin Owens and a partner of his choice. So awesome stuff. Really like this. Then we had LA Knight come out, keep talking about how great of a US champion he is and that he's defended the belt already twice in 2 months, which is the same amount of times as Logan Paul did in 10 months. And then he was basically setting up who's next. And then we had Carmelo Hayes come out and Andrade. So if you guys have been keeping track, Andrade and Carmelo are 2-2 now in their score, and they both won a US championship match. And that's set up that next week we're getting part 5 between Carmelo and Andrade, which seems like they're also setting up that whoever wins this will fight LA Knight. Now, personally, seeing this segment, I want a triple threat. And this is, I don't know if next week's going to end in some kind of DQ or if we're actually going to get a clean win between Carmelo or Andrade, but I really want to see these three just wrestle all together. It's going to be a great time. So I'm guessing next week, maybe we get a Carmelo win, then he fights LA Knight, then Andrade fights LA Knight, then maybe we get a triple threat or something. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying that they're mixing these two storylines together. So another happy, exciting part for me. We also had a segment backstage where Chelsea Green was making fun of Michin for losing last week to Nia Jax in the street fight, and this set up a match between Chelsea Green and Michin tonight. And I really like this match. Chelsea Green won, which I thought was a nice way of doing it. Piper Niven helped with distraction and attacked Michin, and Michin was still hurt from her street fight, so it did make Michin look bad that she did her best in a 2v1, but Chelsea Green got the win. I really like Chelsea. If you guys have been seeing these reviews, I've talked about how much I really enjoy her stuff, and this was just excellent in my opinion once again. Then we had the main event, which was the 8-man tag between the Bloodline and DIY and Street Profits. And before the match starts, what the hell is this new DIY music? Why are they keep changing it? It gets worse every single time. This is probably the worst version of the DIY theme song I have ever heard. They butchered this. This is like absolutely the worst intro I've heard. I haven't checked Twitter, I haven't checked Reddit, I haven't checked anything. If anyone is saying that this is good, I'm gonna fight them. This was terrible. I did not like it. Anyways, match was fine. It's exactly what you thought it was. The babyface got some cool moments. Bloodline finished on top with the usual. Jacob Fatu doing all the work, tagging in Solo. Solo hit the thumb, got the win. They stood on top once again at the end of a Smackdown. So as the usual, exactly what you expected this match to be. And that was this week's episode of Smackdown. I thought it was a good show. Lots of setup. We did have 5 matches, but of course one of them was 3 seconds, so still the usual 4 actual matches. But none of the matches were bad. I think the triple threat was a good match. The Bloodline and DIY was an okay 8-man tag. I really enjoyed Chelsea and Michin. I liked Bayley and Tiffy, so can't really complain. They did do a lot of setting up for next week, so next week's episode of Raw and SmackDown seem like they're going to be massive episodes considering it's WWE week and they're doing season premiere. So this definitely felt like almost like a PLE, like the episode right before PLE, so they're not trying to do too much. I feel like next week we've got the steel cage match, we've got the tag team between A-Town Down Under and Kevin Owens and a surprise partner. We're also getting probably something with Vinci next week, and then we're also getting Carmelo Andrade 5. So this definitely felt like a weaker episode because they're setting up a lot next week. I'll also personally say the crowd, they've been so good lately. This is definitely one of the weaker crowds we've had in a little while. It looked jam-packed, but they were quiet for a lot of it. A lot of the wrestlers that like Vinci didn't really get as much of a reaction as I hope he did. Michin didn't get the reaction I was hoping she would. So the crowd didn't really help with this show. I want to give this a 6 to 7, somewhere there. 6, 6.5, 7, depending. You know, the matches were good. Nothing bad was on it. It just didn't feel like there was anything crazy. Can you skip this episode? Yeah, you probably could. But if you watch it, once again, good episode. We're on a really good streak with the WWE. Every single week, we haven't had a bad episode in a while. So fingers crossed, they're able to continue the momentum of good to great to amazing episodes. But that's the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for ranting for a little while there. Make sure to subscribe, comment what you thought, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday morning for my Monday Night Raw review. Take care. Bye-bye.